Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Recovery from mental illness. The Symphony of Bipolar, August 4th, 2021, at the Queen Bee's Multicultural Center in North Park. What I'm going to talk about is my process of change through I improved my wellness, my health, started to live a more self-directed life, and I'm really striving to reach my full potential. And I think recovery is different for everyone from mental illness. It's deeply personal. It's a unique process, and I'm finding I'm changing my attitudes as I heal, my values, my feelings, my goals, skills, and my roles. William Anthony from Boston said that a person with mental illness can recover even though the illness is not cured. In other words, recovery to me it's a way of living. It's a way of living a satisfying, hopeful, and contributing life even with the limitations caused by the illness. Recovery involves the development of new meaning and purpose in one's life as one grows beyond the catastrophic effects of mental illness. The primary goal of my talk is to empower consumers of mental health services, mental illness patients, and their friends and family members to find their own goals of recovery, make informed decisions about their treatment through acquiring the necessary knowledge and skills. I hope to incorporate empowerment, self-responsibility, connection, and some of the roadblocks and pathways to building a meaningful life. So I'm going to start talking about a book that I use called the RAP Workbook. And what that is a workbook that has exercises and tools to develop an individualized recovery action plan. All of us need to have one of these, review it on a regular basis, not just with ourselves and our friends, but our caregivers and people in our support team. It's one tool of the many that can help facilitate recovery from mental illness. Along with daily groups, the exercises and tools assist in developing individualized strategies to stay well. What are triggers? What are warning signs? What am I like when I'm feeling well? What is medication management? And unfortunately, crisis planning. Now, the purpose of this plan and this workbook and this talk is to encourage you to become your own advocate, to help you to learn to express yourself effectively, assist you with developing realistic personal goals, and encourage you to take responsibility for your own wellness and recovery. And that's one thing I learned the hard way over time at almost now the age of 44. It's not my fault that I have manic depression and horrible PTSD and generalized anxiety disorders, but it is my responsibility for my own wellness and recovery. Now, once completed, my talk and going through the workbook should be a useful source of information to help you reduce the need for hospitalization. And it's also going to help you with the means of describing your needs when you are having increased symptoms and may not be able to communicate effectively. In other words, pre-planning. We all need to become informed consumers of mental health services. I hope that this plan will be instrumental in helping you achieve the best possible outcome for your treatment. I'm not going to really touch too much on triggers. I am going to talk about one part of the workbook where it says, what are some early warning signs I've observed about myself? Now, recognition of these early warning signs is of paramount concern because we can catch something before it blows up in our face. In other words, these early warning signs may be subtle changes that involve our thoughts, our feelings, and or behavior that may indicate we're not functioning at our best level. So we're going to go through during the talk, and this is a preview of the Symphony of Bipolar Disorder, which, by the way, also has a wonderful percussionist and DJ who will be a part of the affair. So I'm going to talk about some early warning signs that I've observed about myself. When I'm starting to feel slowed down, when there's increased negativity, not keeping my appointments, putting myself down, I can't find things, I have poor housekeeping, and I might feel shut down. And then there's other early warning signs that other people see that have reported these things to me that maybe I can't catch myself. And one thing I think it's important to do is to look at and describe what we're like when we're feeling well, so we have something to compare it to. And it's also a positive exercise because I circled enjoy people. When I'm well, I'm easy to get along with. I'm empathetic, friendly, compassionate, quick-witted, and very spiritual and supportive. So a daily maintenance plan to keep feeling well. What I'm finding I do on a regular basis nowadays is I take the medications as prescribed. I eat 3 healthy meals a day. I drink 2 gallons of water or more a day. I avoid excessive caffeine intake. I keep a quality sleep schedule, in other words, sleep hygiene. Going to bed and getting up at the same time helps regulate what are called circadian rhythms. And bipolar disorder is a condition that involves a dysfunction in the regulation of the circadian rhythms. So I try to exercise, stay well groomed, learn how to set good boundaries and then apply those boundaries, especially in the summertime, to get out in the sunlight, do some relaxation exercises, make to-do lists, count my blessings, dress in comfortable clothes, take vitamins, listen to Fish or the Grateful Dead or music, release stress through meditation, and go to work if it's a work day. Now, I'm going to deviate from the book for just a minute and read a card I got, and the person that sent it to me will remain anonymous. But it was a birthday card last year, and I know this is kind of spontaneous, and I just kind of improvised and left the workbook and went to this card. It was inserted in the workbook. It was a birthday card that thanked me for teaching this person compassion for themselves. And they said it's thanks to me that she's not alone with the bipolar condition. Why I have this in that workbook and why I look at it on a regular basis is to remind myself when I'm not feeling well and when I'm feeling well that I do have value to add, and that counteracts some of the negative thoughts that can pop up. So the Symphony of Bipolar was an idea I got over 10 years ago watching a clip from a Dr. Jay Carter. And what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to share my experience, strength, and hope, and talk about a manic episode, an anxious episode, a depressive episode, and then the musician is going to play these on the drums and with his electronic music to manifest mood through music. It was a hero of mine, Trey Anastasio, that said that music can never lie. Music is honest. And it's another way to describe what I feel when I go through those extreme versions of mood. I'm also going to introduce something really special, and if 50 people show up for the Symphony of Bipolar, which is essentially a glorified support group meeting with live music and some jokes and comedy and good food, I'm going to introduce a concept of having a sponsor or a mentor or coach. In other words, someone who has achieved some modicum of stability with the conditions to mentor other people that need a friend, that need someone they can reach out to and call every day and check in with. The mortality rate is close to 18.5%, which means if 50 people show up at the talk on August 4th, that technically a year later 45 will be there and 5 will have taken their own life. It is my goal and my great and deeply profound honor to try and play an active role in really saving lives. because this is a very serious illness that kills almost 1 out of 5 people every year. So I rambled like a choppy fish jam from the mid to late 90s and covered many different subjects, but I'm excited and had a couple Coca-Colas with dinner with my cheeseburger, so I'm a little jacked on caffeine. But I appreciate everyone that came, and thank you so much.